He's like a river splitting round a rock. The screen swerve around it. Oh yeah, that's that all covered then. That's all that dealt with. Wait, what? What about the best about Tommy C? The thing that people are talking about. Yes, I agree. Max is bad, but what about these snaky as DMs? Where at the time you're seemingly supportive of Max's crusade against Tommy C. Mutahar is such a snake, man. Bro, literally snake covered in a web of lies. It's so crazy. Look at this. Bro, this guy wants to have his curry and eat it too, doesn't he? So at the time, he wants to be like, oh yeah, Max, you basically wrecked our friend. Ha ha ha. Now has also apparently responded to this, and we got a few things to look at here. Okay, so in Max's video, what Max was able to show, and I'd already been a bit clued into this, so I covered fairly recently the way that Mutahar handled the Mamamax stuff, and it seemed, looking at some of the older videos, that Mutahar was not just like ignoring the stuff in regards to Tommy C, he was like a supporter of it. And there was a comment that he made on one of his podcasts where he seemed to be talking about Tommy C, but it wasn't 100%. And I'm fairly certain that when I watched it, I was like, oh, is he talking about Tommy C there? And it seemingly backed up the idea that maybe he was, you know, a supporter of the shit that was happening with Tommy C, right? And obviously, more recently, Mutahar has acted like, you know, the way Tommy C was treated was horrendous and whatever, right? But I think at the time he was more supportive of it than he was letting on. And then Max revealed a pretty bombshell message, which showed that Mutahar was like a full-throated supporter privately of the shit that Max was pulling with Tommy C at the time. So it looks pretty bad for Mutahar. In any case, let's have a little look. There's two things to look at here. We've got Mutahar's tweet about it. And then we've also got Mutahar streaming about it. And then I think Tommy C also throws up a Mutahar message too. So we'll have a look at all of that and see what we think. So, here is Mutahar's tweet. Let's have a little look and see what we think. Let's have a little look. Tragically, I was unfollowed by Mutahar at some point last year during some of the Nuxtaku stuff. Very tragic. Very tragic, unfortunately. That eternal bond has been severed forever. Anyway, let's have a look. Regarding Mamamax, I believe Nexpo has said it best here concerning the Sloppenheimer length video released against us. Sloppenheimer. What does it matter how long it is? What matters is the information contained within, first of all. And secondly, I mean, Mutahar has himself released long videos about people previously, no? Also, I hate saying this. I absolutely fucking hate saying this, okay? Because I was a willing participant in this at the time. Max has had, myself included in this, an absolute mountain of content made about him. Multiple hours long. Mutahar's video about Max, I think, are, you know, probably multiple hours in length when you put them all together. So it's a little bit rich to complain about the length of his response when a lot of stuff's been made about him. Listen, I'm not a fan of Max. I don't like the guy, obviously. But he's entitled to a right to respond, and he's allowed to make a long video covering what he thinks is relevant to back his case up. So I just hate this. Oh, yeah, long video there, bro. Seems like everything in it is invalid. Well, no, it's not. No, it's not. The message from you about Tommy C is completely valid. And funnily enough, just skimming through this, it seems like you're swerving round that from the looks of it. It looks like you're not addressing this directly at all. Okay, dude. Anyway, continuing on. Max, to my knowledge, is considering suing me. I take that kind of threat seriously, and all I can say is I don't hire ChatGPT. Bring it on. I don't think Max is going to sue, and I'm not a lawyer, obviously. I'm quite skeptical about the strength of his case if he was to do so. That seems like pie in the sky shit to me. So I doubt that's going to happen. Max accused me of spreading baseless rumors, accusations regarding a former collaborator while providing no tangible document and simply required us to believe him at his word, which means fuck all. yeah, I agree his word means fuck all. I also agree that he provided no tangible evidence that you hadn't spread rumors, and you can't really be expected to disprove that you spread rumors about someone. That's obviously like an impossible feat. So, yeah, I'd have to agree with that point. I'm not a perfect person, no one is, but in regards to the accusations Max spread about Jim, I did, after hearing, actually reach out to Jim and discuss with him, and while I don't speak to him, Jim wasn't surprised when I confronted him as he acknowledged the rumours long before I did. I myself only heard of them when Max and his friend Prox brought them up to me randomly as he came to visit me in Houston while I was vacationing. Yeah, to be completely fair to Mutahar here, I don't think that Max did provide anything to back up his case. It was all off the back of in real life stuff. So it's difficult for me. Like, obviously, I'm not a fan of Mutahar, and I think he's a little wretch, to be honest. But Max did not make a compelling case that he'd spread it, you know? Oh, we'll listen to the stream in a sec. Mutahar's role in all of this, my visualization of this is more so of Mutahar being like a spineless participant rather than being a big, like, mover in the pushing of it. I can easily imagine, you know, the majority of the friend group is all laughing along about what a fucking nonce Jim is. And he's just kind of going along with it because he wants to be part of the in-group. That's my best guess. You know, I without strong evidence, I find it hard to believe that Mutahar was pushing forward these claims. I don't really see that unless there's some strong evidence provided. It seems more likely that he was just like, oh, Jim's a nonce, when everyone's joking about it. Well, better go along with that then. Ha ha ha. And yeah, sure. I think that's probably more likely. Something along those lines, roughly. Yeah, also, I myself only heard of them when Max and his friend Prox brought them up to me randomly. It feels like there's now this collective effort to make Prox Max's friend. Like, oh, look at Prox, he's associating with Max now. And I just don't really buy that. I think that's a very cheap, like, get out of jail free card. You know? It just feels like a very cheap get out of free. Oh, yeah, Prox is now friends with Max. Oh my God, what a terrible guy. When he was like with Nexpo's mate or cameraman or whatever for a long time, it seemed. Or, you know, they had communication for a long while. And they're trying to, like, get a bit of Max's stink on Prox so that we are prone to disbelieve what he's claiming or what he's saying. And I'm just like, I'm not going to do that. You know? Prox is like just a shitter, as far as I'm concerned. You know, whatever. No, no disrespect, men. Okay, but what I mean is he's like a small player in amongst all these massive YouTubers. So he's like, you know, not really like a big player in all of this. So I you know, why would Prox now? Like, to me, it seems way more likely that Prox is someone that has seen more evidence of Nexpo's misdeeds and decided to speak up. Now, to be fair, I don't know the ins and outs of their relationships and all the background stuff, but yeah, that seems to be what likely happened here. Prox Shitto, Prox Shitto goes hard, I must say. Max and his friend Prox brought them up to me randomly as he came to visit me in Houston while I was vacationing. At the time, he lived with Jim, and I was on a term where I did believe Max at face value, a mistake I already have acknowledged before in detail. Max was once a friend, and sadly, in the moment, a lot of judgment can be clouded, and I don't state that as an excuse. Right. So there's some here that I can see from Mutahar's side, I get. I don't like this attempt to associate Prox with Max. Yeah, people keep saying Prox is in the chat, but I can't see them. I don't think I've seen them chat or anything. Guys, you need to relax a little bit, okay? Oh, is he? Is he? If Prox wants to hop on and talk, I'm open to it. And I can, you know, ask a few questions if he's happy to answer them. No pressure, of course. But, you know, I am willing to converse with him if he wants to. I've actually got some questions about his side of it too. Here's a blue profile picture. He's here. He asked a message at 56 minutes. Oh my god, did he? I missed that. Scroll up. Okay, I believe he's here. But if he wants to call in, he's welcome to. My Discord is Chud space. No, is it ChudLogic all one word? I think it's Chud space logic. I think. And we can have a chat. But you might have left. In any case, if he wants to call in, doesn't want to call in, whatever. Let's continue going over this. Max wants a friend, and sadly, in the moment, a lot of judgment can be clouded. I don't say that as an excuse. In regards to the case of the vampire cult, I've been accused of destroying the case, which is simply not true. I've spoken to any survivor that came my way, provided my advice, and even offered money unconditionally to help the people involved in the story. Nearly everyone but Max has seemed to move on. I'd rather not waste my time and make a video on it and figure this should suffice. I don't want to waste my time on Max anymore and frankly have no care what happens to him after this post. Fuck that guy. So I'm sure in the next tweet, he's going to tell us all about those messages in regards to Tommy C. So let's just scroll down and have a look. Oh. Oh, well. Well, someone is bringing it up, but no, it's not Mutahar. Mutahar doesn't seem to be the one to bringing this up from the looks of it. It's Comment Cop that is actually bringing his attention to this. That is incredible. He is literally, bro, Mutahar's ability to totally circumvent the most damning and compelling piece of information against him. It's got to be studied somewhere, bro. He's like a river splitting round a rock. The fucking screen swerve around it. Oh yeah, that's that all covered then. That's all that dealt with. Wait, what? What about the fucking message about Tommy C? The thing that people are talking about. Holy fuck, dude. That is an art form. That is a total art form. Unbelievable, honestly. Jesus. Any comment on that, I wonder? Nothing? No? Okay. Yeah, that is pretty wild. Pretty wild. I'm honestly blown away. What's the theory of it with Muta in it? Okay, let's have a look at this.
In regards to Jim or Night Docs, there were two allegations. One of them which had come from Max, allegedly, in amongst a friend group, about him not being necessarily the best dad. There were two.
Had come from Max allegedly. Well, who did you hear it from Max, or did someone tell you they heard it from Max?
Key things. One of them was him being asleep most days, and then the other was that Max would have to step in and feed his children cereal or whatever else was in the house. This is something that I heard, again, not from Max, but through our internal friend group. And while this one definitely raised some questions about, okay, you know, you gotta be attentive if you're the dad, it wasn't necessarily the most serious thing. However, what was more serious was the allegation where he had allegedly started unzipping himself in front of a minor, exposing himself over a Discord video call. Now, I actually confronted Jim about this one specifically because I wasn't exactly, I needed to know the bottom of this truth, or I need to understand or at least get his side, because obviously I met the person in reality. Me and my wife confronted him, and in this situation, Jim obviously categorically denied that he had done anything, but I didn't have any evidence for or against Jim. And
also, the other thing to bear in mind with this is I'm pretty sure now it's pretty much it's agreed that Dojangles had prior experience with Jim that would have led her to the conclusion that she was creepy, because there was this idea that like prior to all of this, Jim had approached her before she got together with Mutahar, right? Am I remembering correctly?
And, you know, in spite of all that, I still decided to, you know, hold back my connection, not talk as much anymore. We weren't necessarily the most talkative people anyways, but this absolutely sealed the deal. And that's just because I don't really like to interact with somebody that even has that kind of an ick on them or that stain. Because again, I don't know what's true or what isn't. In this situation, I just decided to dial back the friendship that I had. Obviously, considering everything now, I'm more inclined to believe Jim at his word, given the other party. But yeah, those were the two big allegations. Well, at least one of them were the most serious allegations.
Wait, did I miss something? Well, I'm a bit confusing.
Talk as much anymore. We weren't necessarily the most talkative people anyways, but this absolutely sealed the deal. And that's just because I don't really like to interact with somebody that even has that kind of an ick on them or that stain. Because again, I don't know what's true or what isn't. In this situation, I just decided to dial back the friendship that I had. Obviously, considering everything now, I'm more inclined to believe Jim at his word, given the other party. But yeah, those were the two big allegations. Well, at least one of them were the most serious allegations.
Oh, I see. Oh, Nicandros is hyper fixated on Nuxtargo.
That being of the minor and him exposing himself over Discord. The other one about him being a father coming into question, I don't think I ever really questioned that. I think obviously when it comes to him and his interaction with kids, again, in comparison to him interacting in a weird way with potentially a minor or any woman on the internet, was something that raised more red flags. But yeah, that was about it for Jim. Thank you for having me on.
Right now, your bullshit detectors are probably...
Right, so what am I supposed to take from that then? I'm a bit confused. Spoon feed it to me, please, because I don't really understand what I'm supposed to take from that. Shinji, what was it? Was it the Nuxtaki thing? Was that it? Have we just sidetracked into that for the Nuxtaki thing? Okay, well, by all means, tell me what I missed. I didn't understand what the purpose of that was. But anyway, so this is Mutahar's, you know. Well, no, and Shinji sometimes provides good links. In any case, he's obviously completely swerved the Tommy C stuff. So let's now compare it to what he said on stream. So this is his stream about it, which was on the 3rd of April. So I'm guessing when the video dropped, he had these comments about it.
Mamamax is suing me over a breached NDA. Okay. As far as Mamamax stuff goes, if Mamamax is really willing to sue me for the millions of dollars, I highly welcome it, okay? I really welcome it. Because unlike Max's lawyers that are, I guess, are...
Oh, I see. Okay, Shinji, right. Shinji's spoon-feeding me. Shinji's taking over the stream tomorrow. Don't worry, guys. He's going to see us right. He said that the allegation came from Max allegedly and his internal friend group, but now doubles down that it came from Max and Prox. That's the point. I see. Okay. I see. I myself only heard of them when Max and his friend Prox brought them up to me randomly as he came to visit me in Houston when I was vacationing. I see. Got it. Okay. So you're saying there's like a shifting story here, essentially. Before it was a lot less specific, and now it's Max and Prox. I only heard it from them. Okay, interesting. Worth bearing in mind.
Chat fucking GPT. I have real lawyers, and I would bring it. Out of the whole Max thing, like, it was really funny. Like, I think out of the video, he brings up the fact that, like, we were all just kind of, like, we were all just, like, fucking assholes or something to each other. I don't really care, okay? Like, at the end of the day, Max, he, like, in his video, he admits to, like, saying some, like, fucking, fucked up shit about the Night Docs guy. Like, everything that we had in discussion with was in a closed community, like our closed Discord, like our closed, like, group chat of friends. So, bro's spreading these rumors, and then in this video, he's, like, saying that I'm responsible for it, yet provides, like, no actual, like, real proof. Like, I've seen all the timestamps and everything. It's just weird.
Yeah, so he's right. He is right about that. Max doesn't provide proof. Fair enough. So on to the next one, hopefully. Let's see.
Like, the guy is unhinged. Okay? Like, simple as that. I think he's an unhinged dude. And, you know, he just, like... I have stopped giving a shit about Max since he completely fucking like since
Okay. Yes. Okay, I see this here. Yep. So when Moot is referring to the internal friend group, that also refers to Dojangles. So Dojangles has had their own separate experience with Jim that she felt was creepy, and obviously Mutahar perceived it off the back of that too.
Since it came out that he just like I have stopped giving a shit about Max since he completely fucking like since it came out that he just didn't do anything in regards to stopping predators. Okay, I just stopped caring.
Oh my god. How convenient. The guy that I propped up for years as being a super giga-based predator hunter, when it turned out it was bullshit, oh, that was it. It was over. Dude, this guy is so wretched, man. He just endlessly downplays the levels to which he propped this guy up. Like, it's fine to recognize and say that you really fucked up. It's just, God, I hate it, dude. I hate this shit so much. Oh, it's just so obvious that he's caught on the hop with this. And he's just, you know, essentially relying on the Mamamax bad veil in order to obfuscate his own misdeeds in this, you know?
If Max wants to sue me, I highly welcome the lawsuit. Okay, I'm not even against law. I think creators should fucking sue each other, okay? I think creators should sue each other like crazy. I think if you...
Okay, but... Could this be a convenient position that you've arrived at because you're suing another YouTuber now? Possibly? Maybe? I don't know, dude. Oh, well, obviously he knows he can't criticize it because he's fucking trying to he's taking no Sam's to the court, apparently. I don't know if there's any takes of this other than this. I'm not sure on that one. But I just don't understand why, as a YouTuber, you'd be so primed for fucking lawsuits flying left, right, and center. Because if a big enough character with a big enough purse comes at you, that's going to cause you some fucking problems. You know, you can't just ignore it. It could be that you're having to address and answer a lawsuit that's going to cost you a lot of money, potentially.
If you have a disagreement with me, just motherfucking sue me, okay? Simple as that. All right? I don't care. Fucking sue me. Like, you know what I hate about lawsuits? Don't threaten. Just do it. Just make it happen. Like, just do it. You know? Like, let's just go. If you feel that if you feel that I've made you cry a little bit, then just do it. Simple as that. Not Max Mofo. Max Mofo's cool. Mamamax is what we're talking about. It's a crate like motherfuckers acting like.
Also, this is a take that only like millions of sub YouTuber with tons of money can have. Because as a small creator, I can assure you, the idea of someone suing me is fucking terrifying and, you know, horrendous. And it's the last thing that I'd want. I don't want to get in any sort of legal action with anyone. Because, you know, beyond all the bluster and the fucking whatever. I mean, yeah. I think now, maybe I've been a bit ballsy about it in the past. But now I've got a very different view on it. Well, you know, and it's just always going to, you know, the chances are too high that it could end badly for you. And, yeah, I think you could get fucking burnt. So your best bet is to just try and avoid it where possible. Yeah, I mean, dude, yes, I remember very well. I remember being there, covering it all, and people go, no, go on, Chud, file a counter notification. Which would then give grounds Dark Viper to file a suit against me. And it's like great in principle, very funny for you to think of, oh, look, a lawsuit. But not for me. How much money is that going to cost me? You know, is it worth it for what we're dealing with? Etc. Like, it's just, it often isn't worth it. Yeah, if you have a disagreement with me, just sue me as quite detached, as if all YouTubers could sustain that mentality. God, dude, what is happening? I feel like we're getting to the point where we're giving justification to fucking great financial penalty for all YouTubers because all these fucking lawsuits are flying left, right, and center. It's stupid.
Like the most jilted ex-girlfriend in the world. Just do it.
That equates greater class.
Oh my god! Someone said to skip to 225. Apparently he talks about it there. Is that right? 225. Is that correct?
Remember the friends?
225.54. Thank you, Shinji.
Shit. That's actually fucked up. That is... Wow. I hope she's safe. I hope that lady's safe. Jesus Christ.
Why am I
Suddenly
guitar?
appears
How's
in
it
her
going?
apartment. He most likely walked in after seeing the door was unlocked. Now, while it's unsure if they caught him, viewers are completely baffled by something else in this video. Somehow, the door...
What was I supposed to... Okay, what was that? What was that? What happened there? Oh, it's 55. Oh, sorry. 55. Okay. Sorry. I'm an idiot. I'm a total moron. Sorry. 255.54. Dude, what's going on here? What, this random point in the video that's not to do with what we're interested in? What is going on here?
Ruins. Do you plan on covering the video Mamamax made recently? No, I don't really give a shit about the new video. I saw like the bits and pieces. It's all like completely out of context. The receipts he shows, it's funny, like he showed one receipt of me. Like and then like it's funny, like he showed like a message between me and him on a phone. And it's like he just completely like cuts out context of it. Like at this point, if anybody...
Well, by all means, Mutahar, we're all listening. Share the context with us. What's the context that makes that more appropriate or acceptable and nothing to be worried about? And also, isn't it funny how he's swerving around, mentioning what the message even is? Is he talking about Tommy? He must be, right?
really wants from that community that's covering it, I'll just give you guys like my message list. I don't really have anything to hide there. He kind of says that we started rumors about like that Night Dogs guy when it's like the only way that I heard a rumor was through that guy.
Yeah, so there's this message. It's out of context. Anyway, that about covers it. Bob, see you later. Oh, dude, what? Interesting. Well, why not just show us the context then? Oh! Prox, listen, mate. No pressure. Don't get relax, chat. Relax. If you wanted to come on, it's up to you. But I did have a few questions about some of the stuff. If you're up for it.
And I've never said it outside a group of like friends that heard it from him. If anything, like he talked about that Night Dogs guy, and like me and my wife Jen, we were just like, we heard about it. We even talked to him about it on the phone, like the Night Dogs guy directly, like Jim directly. And outside of our circle, nobody ever really knew about it. Nobody ever talked.
No worries. Well, if you ever wanted to come on and clear anything up or answer some questions, whatever, it's ChudLogic on Discord. Let me know.
About my wife Jen, we were just like, we heard about it. We even talked to him about it on the phone, like the Night Dogs guy directly, like Jim directly. And outside of our circle, nobody ever really knew about it. Nobody ever talked about it, like aside from who Max like said. So it's just weird. Like Max is out there like spreading. It's weird. I don't understand what's up with this like constant petty drama nonsense. And for full context, like I'm not even friends with that Night Dogs guy, and it's not because, you know, Night Dogs has done anything illegal or anything to my knowledge. I just don't really like the guy, so I don't really hang out, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, Mamamax is just weird, man.
Okay. So previously, Mutahar was painting the image that he had this sort of friendship with Jim, and that because of what Max said, he distanced himself. And now it's that I don't really like the guy. So, dude, what is going on here? This feels like this is ever-shifting narrative. And to me, in my head, I'm thinking, are you now saying this because there's now the info put about that Night Dogs wasn't that great and you're trying to align with that new narrative? Is that what's going on here?
Didn't he say that he and Jen confronted him about it at first? Wow.
Thank you for the $5, Eggy. Now it's like he's acting like he wasn't really friends with them at all. But previously it was, he was friends with him, Max misled him, and he distanced himself accordingly. Okay. This is the problem when you got so many people that are seemingly totally dishonest wretches. You can't get a straight story about what the fuck is going on. It's like impossible to discern what's going on.
Man, I mean, it's like he's hanging on to like whatever relevancy, even though, you know, he didn't do anything really in his career to stop, I guess, bad people. He might as well be better off like taking care of like animals, because it seems like he's better into the animal welfare than anything else. Even when it came to like his case, like he had this vampire cult case that he fucked up, and really all I did out of it, like, he said something about like I lied and like didn't help out the victims or something, and it's like I literally only had talked to like one person in there who ever had a case, and even that person, from my knowledge, is moved on with their life and doing something. So I don't know, man. Like that the whole vampire case, it's like Max ruined that case. Like, even if, let's say there is a case on it, which honestly, like, there might have been something. I'll be real. Like, there might have been some.
So, yeah. Now we're just talking about how bad Max is again, and it's like, yes, I agree Max is bad, but what about these fucking snaky as fuck DMs, where at the time you're seemingly supportive of Max's crusade against Tommy C?
Grievance that could probably.
This is Manhunt. This is the Manhunt game from the Xbox PS2 days. It was like super violent when it came out, and you know, you can smother someone with a plastic bag. Pretty based.
Probably be handled in court, but the way that Max did it was so bad, was so poorly handled, that, you know, he ruined it in any feasible capacity. Like, I'm sorry to say, like, it is what it is. You had some weird vampire case. He wanted, like, it seems
so
like...
yeah, disregard what is actually new and substantial here, and just talk about all the stuff we know about how bad Max is. Yes, same as Nexpo, using Max's bad rep to pad their shit response. Yes, exactly.
All he wanted was, like, content for a video. And he might have had some case, but he fucked it up to, like, a complete, like, nth degree. And that was pretty much just how it happened. And it wasn't my case, right? Like, I don't know why he, like, what I find really weird, too, is, like, expecting me to help. Like, it's just super odd. Like, bro, I'm sorry. Like, I think because of, like, Max, I have personally said, like, till the day my career...
I mean, dude, in fairness, I think the criticism was that you talked a big game about how much you were going to help, and nothing really seemed to materialize after the fact. And I think what's probably true is you said all that in order to, you know, obfuscate from the fact you just propped this guy up for years, and then when no one was looking, you just quietly fucking moved on, and that was that, wasn't it? Right? Like, you made this big stink about, oh, I'm going to take the case on, and I'm going to move it forward, and it's fine. Like, that's far-fetched as it is. But why did you say all of that, and then you seem to quietly move on when no one was looking? I mean, that seems to be what happened.
Career is out of YouTube. Till the day that I retire, I genuinely never want to collaborate with any other creator. I don't want to, like, my friend circle on YouTube, like, out of my own choice, I keep it so deliberately minimal now because of, like, Max. Because it's like, I'm not going to sit there and endorse any other creator anymore. Like, even if it's, like, the nicest person in the world, I just cannot, honestly, in my mind, endorse anybody. It's just not happening on my end. But as far as the vampire case goes, the one person that I did talk to, the one person that, like, you know, again...
What about Nuxtaku? What about Nuxtaku, bro? Did he say after Max, I'm not endorsing anyone? What about Nuxtaku, bro? What is he on about? He did it that later the same year that this all came out.
Vampire, it's just not... I think because of, like, Max, I have personally said, like, till the day my career is out of YouTube, till the day that I retire, I genuinely never want to collaborate with any other creator. I don't want to, like, my friend circle on YouTube, like, out of my...
And yet later that same year that this Max stuff came out, he was back in... No, listen, guys, I know what I'm going to get in the... Oh, you're obsessed with Mutahar, Chud. You get over it, blah, blah, blah. Fine, have your little comments, okay? But... it is to say that, yes, he absolutely went on to do exactly what he's saying he didn't want to do. Later that same year, this Max stuff all became a big drama. Fucking hell, dude.
my own choice.
Okay,
I
that's
keep
one
it
right.
so
How do I
deliberately
make
minimal
money
now.
off depressed people?
There is some truth to this given Nux lol. He can't help but do hypercritical shit.
Thank you, Silent Medallion, for the $5. I mean, yeah, these big YouTubers are just, I mean, I'm not. Obviously, there's benefits to associated with them and stuff. I get that, but Jesus Christ, dude. I mean, you're not obsessed. Your little toadies are obsessed. Who do you mean? It just feels like you're just on a hiding to nothing, and they're just completely like they're just self-interested freaks, and they could be nice about it. Like Mutahar's not a particularly unpleasant individual in terms of like his manner, but it's whatever suits and benefits them at the end. And if you have to end up going under the spoke of a fucking bus to do so, then so be it, you know?
Because of like Max. Because it's like, I'm not going to sit there and endorse any other creator anymore. Like, even if it's like the nicest person in the world, I just cannot, honestly, in my mind, endorse anybody. It's just not happening on my end. But as far as the vampire case goes, the one person that I did talk to, the one person that, like, I gave money to, to help out with like licensing that they were going through. It seems like even they've moved past everything. They've moved past this life. It's pretty much, they've moved past all of the vampire stuff anyways.
These guys call themselves the Hoods, but none of
I heard
them
like in that video Max had like that Spencer chick or whatever, like she completely just expected him to pay for everything. Which honestly, that's probably the one thing I feel really bad about with Max. Like if it's one thing that I'll say after all of the fallout that we've had, I really genuinely do think that in some way, Max really did give a fuck about like helping children. Obviously, I think he did. Like no matter how bad our relationship is, and no matter how like fucking untenable it is.
He did watch the video, didn't he? The transosphere drama is heating up. What transosphere drama? I'm always up for a bit of trans temp. I've got no idea what you're talking about.
I do genuinely think that Max really did give a shit about protecting children, and he really did want to help children out in some way. I just don't think that the way...
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. I think that Max has got some concern. I don't think it's fake. It's obviously he's gone about it in a terrible way, but sure, I can accept that. That's the case, sure.
The way he did it was ever really that smart. Obviously. I think we all know that. I don't think he did anything in a smart fashion.
Yourself.
I think he genuinely did want like to help people out. It's just like, I guess the theatrics of the situation was probably more like important. Maybe that's what was running through his head. But yeah. I mean, yeah, the fact he was doing volunteer work for me back up the concept that he wanted to help. I don't think he would do that if he didn't have any concern whatsoever. I think, honestly, like, the way... The whole Spencer thing is interesting, right? Like, that...
Well, the reason he's talking so much about it like this is because he wants people to desperately not pay attention to the fact he was a total snake to Tommy C. And was broadly a snake over the whole situation.
That girl comes in and uses him for his money and everything, and expects basically him to cover every single thing out there. And I think the way that she treated him, it's easy to say like somebody's stupid, but that's why I say like I think Max did come from like a healthy place of caring for people, because he really tried to help this chick out. He really tried to help out the situation. I think what came out of it was like he believed her to like an extreme degree, and I guess at that point, hindsight's 50. He was already way too deep into this vampire cult. He had to like pretty much like buy into this. He had to make it work on a story that probably was never meant to work in the first place. So I don't know, man. I mean, like, but as far as like whatever bullshit framing with like the Night Docs or whatever, like Jim, I literally like, I'll tell you from my end, like he's the one, like I met up with him in like Houston, came over to an Airbnb I was staying at, like it was a vacation time, and I heard, all the shit about like Night Docs and Jim from him. And
wait, hang on.
Came over to an Airbnb I was staying at, like it was a like Jim, I literally like, I'll tell you from my end, like he's the one, like I met up with him in like Houston, came over to an Airbnb I was staying at, like it was a vacation time, and I heard, you know, all the shit about like Night Docs and Jim from him, and a month later I talked to Night Docs on a call.
Wait, so is this new? I feel like this is a new insert to the story. That Max went to Mutahar directly to an Airbnb and told him this. That's new, isn't it? This story's just fluid, it feels like. It changes all the time. In his prior statement, unless he was misspeaking back then, he didn't seem to strongly, like, there was none of this. Like he said that he heard it from Max allegedly, which suggested that maybe others told him what Max had said. But now he's saying that Max specifically came to him in an Airbnb and told him this in Houston at one time. Right, okay. Because, yeah, I mean, Dojangles is claiming that something different to this as well, isn't she? Because I thought that Dojangles got some... Dojangles... Unless he's talking about a specific claim. I feel like the confusion is the point here, and there's a lack of ability to grasp onto what actually happened, because there's so much dishonesty and shifting narratives is occurring in front of our eyes. And in his tweet, he said it was Max and Prox, and now it's just Max, apparently.
And confronted the guy right there. But as far as talking about him behind his back, I think I only ever discussed, like, Jim alongside, like, Nexpo and, like, basically whoever Max had told the stuff to in confidence. That was about it. So it's just weird.
Little sociopath. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna flush you out.
Okay, is that it? Yeah, I think there's effort.
And it's just like, it's like weird too. It's like in his video, it's like he admits like he starts these rumors, and it's like, I'm not the only guy that's like saying it. I'm like, but you're where this starts from, okay? Like if anybody in this group is going to be talking about something crazy that you brought up, it's because you brought it up, you know?
Wow, and now that is another talking point as well. Oh, it's because Max brought it up. Exactly the same shit that Nexpo was saying. In as many words. I mean... Right. Okay, interesting. So this is now a predominant narrative from both Mutahar and Nexpo that, oh, it was actually Max bringing it up that led to this being discussed. Right. Okay. Sort of a lack of agency being proposed for both Mutahar and Nexpo here.
Like that's kind of like how this whole thing works. You start a YouTube channel today, how would you go about growing it? Clips on Twitter, clips on like, you know, TikTok, clips like that. That's probably how I would go about doing it. Night Mars the Unicorn. I don't know anything about the best debloat software because honestly, I've not been debloating Windows at all. I don't use Windows whatsoever.
Oh, Linux reference. Is that it?
Did I hear about the lady who shat on somebody's car during the road rage?
Shinji, is that it? Okay, right. I need to take a really quick piss. Okay? So, quick little break, and then Tommy C showed some DMs, which apparently are quite elucidating. So what is this DM that Tommy showed?
I told Doe that I'm really super pissed because Chud told me that you went on and said, boy, man, there's some people out there really challenging Max. It's really fucking crazy. By the way, when the Tommy C video came...
Yes. Agent for the 12th. I'm pretty sure this lines up with when we looked at this on stream, right? I remember this happening, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Because, you know, I was, yeah. Yeah, I remember. Let's see.
Came out. The bogus video that you ended up busting, okay? And I wanted to know because the only person you could be talking about at the time of me, because I was the only critic, it was me and what fucking Vito.
Yes.
Hey, out of respect, I'm here to ask you about your concern you had. Jen played me a few messages between you two. It seemed you guys have issues with something I said in the podcast a couple years ago regarding Max. I'll figure out if you want to call about it and hash something out. But from what I heard, you seem pretty upset about it, and out of respect, I'd want to revolve it. I know it had something to do with Max being on the show.
Bro, Mutahar is such a fucking snake, man. Bro, literally snake covered in a web of lies. It's so crazy. Look at this.
Collectively calling us critics cringe. At the time, I did not know you were the only sole critic.
Dude. Mutahar's a total bullshit artist, bro. There's now a message that we've got which shows him directly referencing the work that Max was doing about Tommy C. The video that he did about Tommy C. Holy shit. What a fucking liar, dude.
That's bullshit. If Max is to be believed, that's fucking bullshit.
So,
well, you don't have to believe Max. You can just look at the message. And Mutahar has referenced the fact that this is apparently out of context. But, sorry, Mutahar's referenced the fact it's out of context, but not said, well, how or why it's out of context. Where's that message?
Fun of his videos.
Let's just stitch this together. Where is the message exactly? Where is it?
Seen nothing. So Mutahar was learning from an angry man who can't think straight, who constantly spread. I am.
Where is it?
First part. Watch,
is
bro. Wait, for real? Lol, I saw the first part. LMFAO. If he didn't already, he probably should.
So just one more time.
Part. LMFAO. If he didn't already, he probably should.
I think you put our friend Tommy on suicide watch to, I didn't at the time know you were the sole critic or the only prominent one going after him. Bro. Told you. Dude, I told you months ago about this. I fucking told you. I told you, bro. We had a little dig into it. Didn't we? Dude, I remember on stream, is that about Tommy C? What? And now it turns out there's this message backing up that yes, it was about Tommy C. And now here's Mutahar lying about knowing it was about Tommy C to save face to Tommy. What a wretched little fucker this Mutahar guy is. God, lies on top of lies on top of lies.
are the DMs real? That's my next question.
Yeah.
Jen is dough.
The DMs are real. I mean, how can they not be real? Like, I mean, look, I very much doubt that they're fabricated. And if they were fabricated, why would Mutahar not say that? Why would he just say that out of context? Why wouldn't he say, yeah, they're just made up? Look, here's the period at which he's referencing in our DMs and they're not there. Or something. I mean, obviously, again, difficult to disprove messages aren't real. But why would Mutahar say they're out of context rather than they're fake then? Obviously, after those years, I was educated on the subject and corrected. Right, okay. At the time, I didn't know you the sole person on his radar, and I wouldn't be downplaying any trauma you've been through, or labelling you pedo-permissive. Heard that literally 10 minutes ago from Jen's phone. I didn't know, I wouldn't be downplaying trauma you've been through, or labelling you pedo-permissive. Even at the time, I knew you to not be that clearly. Bro, this guy wants to have his fucking curry and eat it too, doesn't he? So at the time, he wants to be like, oh yeah, Max, you basically wrecked our friend, ha ha ha. And now it's not convenient anymore. It's, oh yeah, that was really bad that he did that and I never believed it. Give me a fucking break, dude. These people are so wretched. They're such wretched snakes, the lot of them. As far as me not reaching out to you, I didn't reach out to anyone that didn't contact me, usually through my cell. Again, I wish you'd bring this to my attention so I could talk to you about this. I know we're on speaking terms on here as evidence with you helping you out a month ago. With me helping you out a month ago. It's a bit painful hearing that you're disposable to me. I do value our friendship as little as we speak. Friendship is about truthfulness and being upfront, not about this little, oh yeah. Like, why not come clean earlier about this? Why not say? Why not? It's so fake. It's so fake, the lot of it, dude. Total fraud. Total fucking fraud, man. I do value friendship as little as we speak, and I've never helped you with an expectation of anything in return. I spoke to people directly involved in this, and I really ghosted anyone. It was because deep down I know some combos can't just remain here and not head out on a stream. That said, I'm still down to talk to you out of a respect for a friendship we have. I do wish you spoke to me, however, instead of Jen. I do feel terrible involving her in any of this, just being related to me. I don't really care what the world thinks of me, but I'd rather her never get dragged into my stuff that she really has no involvement with. Okay. Seems like she's quite willing to get herself involved. Super chatting to me during the Nuxtarky shit. But anyway, we won't dwell on that. We've already covered that extensively and to death at this point. So we don't need to go over that again. So, yeah. Looks like Mutahar's a total fucking rat. Which we knew already. But I mean, at least this, you know, gives us the kind of further evidence of that, I suppose. I mean, every fucking piece of evidence just cements it on again. Jesus. More Mutahar hate. Bro, what, dude, wasn't it funny the other day? Someone was like, it's so clear you want to hate Mutahar more than Max. And then it's like, whilst I don't think I do, I mean, can you not see the like, look at this, bro. This is completely shameless. Bro, can't bear it, dude. There's still this, like, latent desire to defend Mutahar. Even at each turn, he's exposed as more and more of a wretched little snake. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Who was the one guy in the situation with Max that accused you of doxing them? Oh, God, I can't remember the name. There was some dude that came on. Oh, my God, that was such a fucking great time for content. That was that weird guy. That was that weird dude. I can't remember his name. Anyway, I think, realistically, that's it. Realistically, that is all the Mamamax updates for today, I believe. So there we go. What do you reckon? I mean, I've said all I've got to say about it, really. I hope there's more from this, because I love the Mamamax drama when it happened, and I hope there's more stuff that spins out off the back of it. I guess we'll see what happens, but for now, those are the updates. J-Mac the Destroyer. Yes, that was the guy. You've got it.